Now we're going through problems with the homework. This is exercise 8C. We're looking at question 10. And it says the expression for the area of a rectangle is 4x squared plus 8x. Find an expression for its width if the length is x plus 2. So I'm going to draw a diagram. X plus 2 times whatever the width is. So basically, x plus 2 times something else, don't know what it is equal to what? So that times the width equals what? 4x squared plus 8x. Girls, what's the missing? Oh, or can we just put one number at the front? Not like that. So I shouldn't put it like that. I'm going to go like this. 4x squared plus 8x equals something x plus 2. Have a guess. What do you think you need to multiply the x by to get 4x squared? 4x. So 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x times 2 is 8x. Does it work? So you got it? What's the missing? What's the width? 4x. So girls, x plus 2 times whatever the width is, I'm just going to put width here, is that. So I've written it again. There's the area equals something times that length. Just trying to work out the missing number here, that's all, the missing expression, I suppose. It would be 4x squared plus 8x. So you need 4x out the front there. So therefore the width is 4x. Yeah? At question 8.0 up there, factorising that expression there. So y plus 1 squared minus 4 bracket y plus 1. Y plus 1 squared means y plus 1 times y plus 1. So there is at least one y plus 1 that is in common. Do you get that? So if I take that out, what's left here? Isn't there another y plus 1? Now I can put it in brackets. And what's left over here in this second expression? Minus 4. So you write it like that. You can put that in brackets if you want, but you don't need to. So there's one y plus 1 in common with both. In this first expression, in this first term, there's still another y plus 1. Then we factorise out, then we've got the minus 4 here. So this becomes y plus 1. There's no reason this needs to be in brackets. Y plus 1 minus 4 is just y what? Y what? Add and subtract. Y plus 1 minus 4, which is y minus 3. And that's what that is. The squared is in the question. All right, y plus 1 squared minus 4 bracket y plus 1, I'll write it out. Means y plus 1 times y plus 1, doesn't it? Something squared means it times itself, minus 4 bracket y plus 1. Do you understand that? So now what's in common? A y plus 1. What's left over? So that's a common factor. There's still another y plus 1 left over in the first term. Then we've got minus 4 in the second. Which is y plus 1. Y plus 1 minus 4 is y minus 3. We're going to now look at questions like this, where in one bracket, for example, you've got an x minus 2. Now here the x is positive, and the 2 is minus, negative. But in this bracket, you've got the 2 and the x, but they're the opposite sign to what the first bracket is. So here x is positive, here x is negative. Here 2 is negative, here 2 is positive. So what we're going to do, we're going to see how there is a negative. What we're going to do, we're going to change the sign in front of this second bracket. Watch what I'm going to do. And when I change this sign to a plus, I'm going to change the sign of both of these in the bracket. Okay? Reason is, just noting, that negative, say, a minus b, if I've just got a minus b, I've got a minus b. But if I've got negative a minus b, what does that equal? It equals negative a plus b. You don't normally write your negative first, so it is negative a plus b. Why don't I just write that as plus b, which is just b minus a? Okay, so negative of a minus b is equal to actually b minus a, or negative a plus b. You don't write it like that. You'll notice when we do binomials, you never put your negative term first. If you've got negative a plus b, that is the same as plus b minus a, which is just b minus a. So in this question here, I don't want 2 minus x, I want x minus 2. So I'm writing it like x minus 2 with a 5 out the front, but because I've changed the sign of both of these, I now change this to a positive. Now just watch what I'm going to do because I'm going to check it. Girls, of course the first brackets are the same, but let's look at the second bracket here. What's negative 5 times 2? Minus 10x, minus 10, negative 10. Look here, plus 5 times minus 2, is that minus 10? And here minus 5 times minus x is what? Plus 5x. A negative times a negative is a positive. Do I have plus 5x here? So they mean the same thing. So what you do, you look at them and you say, geez, I wish they were the same. That's just the same numbers, but both those terms inside are the opposite sign. So what you do, you make it the same, but if you change that, you've got to change the number, the sign in front. Remember those two opposites, okay? And you can check minus 10 plus x. Sorry, minus 10 plus 5x plus 5x minus 10, it's the same thing. So now that the x minus 2's look the same, I can pull it out, x minus 2, what's left over? X plus 5. All right, we're going to do another 2, just to make sure you're okay. I'll let you write that out. Question, 2x minus 5, 5 minus 2x. Here the 2x is positive, here the 2x is negative. Here you've got minus 5, here you've got plus 5. Same numbers but opposite signs. Keep the first one the same. You need this, whoopsie. You need the second one to be the same, but because you've gone and swapped signs, what do I do? Plus or minus x? I go minus x. And it's the same thing, minus 2x squared plus 5x. Plus 5x minus 2x squared. They're actually equivalent. Now that the signs inside the brackets, everything inside the brackets are the same, that's my common factor. And what's left over? 3 minus x. So girls, we tend to give you these questions in harder questions. You know, in a complicated factorization, you'll get something like this where you're going to have to, where you'll see that they're the same, but one's opposite signs. That's what you do. You change the sign in front. Okay? Now the last question, girls. We can do it this way, but is that 10 minus 2x completely factorized? Factorize this for me first, please. What's a common factor here? So plus 2 bracket, what have you got? 5 minus x. Now again, the same situation as up above. X minus 5, 5 minus x. The sign isn't quite right. Keep the first one the same. I can change this. I want to do the opposite signs of those. So make it an x minus 5. Keep the 2 in front, but what do I put here? Minus. So then they look fine. So girls, this 10 minus 2x would be, you'd notice if you're trying to factorize something, that's not completely factorized, but the first one is. So you can't simplify that until we factorize that second bracket. Then we can see these are almost the same except the signs are opposite. So whatever's negative here now becomes positive, whatever's positive becomes negative, and you change the sign out the front. So we end up with x minus 5, x minus 2. Okay, what's wrong, girls? Careful with questions like this. This is just another homework problem. Girls, you need to do all your working. That would be minus 4x plus 8 minus 9x minus 15. Shh. Minus 4x minus 9x is minus 13x, and plus 8 minus 15 is 8 up, 15 down is minus 7. The answer might look like that. I don't know. The answer could also look like this. Minus 13x minus 7, because there's a negative in common, that actually is identical to putting the negative out the front, bracket 13x plus 7. But you don't really need to do that. So that's okay to stop there.